Longmeadow welcomes their first ever town council to serve as the town's legislative body as East Longmeadow transitions to a new form of government. We have the results from the June 7th election, along with interviews, statistics, and more just ahead. Also, we covered the latest Board of Selectmen meeting, find out what new businesses are coming to the town. Plus, we learn about an upcoming family and community event brought forth by the Recreation Director. And later, St. Michael's players hold auditions for the upcoming fall musical, Beauty and the Beast. Learn more about the audition process and the history behind the program. Also coming up, highlights from the Teacher Recognition Ceremony and Hall of Fame induction, a special event to end the school year. Those stories and much more ahead on ELCAT News Update. Thanks for tuning in to ELCAT News Update. I'm Rebecca Green. We begin the show with the June 7th Town Council election. Candidates devoted their entire day in tents, holding signs, and promoting their names and hope to serve as a member of East Longmeadow's Town Council. ELCAT talked to Town Clerk Tom Florence before the polls opened at 7 a.m.
Today is a big day. It's the culmination of a lot that's happened, especially the first 6 months of this year, between the primary, the annual election, the charter vote. Everything that's gone on in the town. It's a very important and historic election of 32 people, and it's an election that's different than none other. It's for 7 seats. Those seats are broken out 3 years, 2 year, and 1 year.
With an impressive number of 32 candidates running, 3,476 residents coming out to vote, resulting in a high voter turnout at about 31%, the Town Council election will go down in East Longmeadow history. Congratulations to Kevin M. Manley with 2,129 votes, Paul Louis Federici, 1,832 votes, Kathleen G. Hill, 1,517 votes, Donald J. Anderson, 1,447 votes, Eric H. Madison, 1,030 votes, Michael J. Kane, 980 votes, and Joseph A. Ford, 975 votes. Town Council members will meet on July 1st for their first official meeting. ELCAT talked with the top winner, Kevin Manley, who currently serves on the Board of Selectmen. We asked Manley about the upcoming hiring process for an interim town manager.
Part of what I did while I was a selectman was I did get in touch with some agencies that vet candidates for interim positions, and those candidates will help us with a search process for a permanent town manager. I'm going to bring those forward to the new council. So we can kind of start off without reinventing the wheel. If the council as a whole thinks that's a good idea, great. If they don't and we want to do something different, I'm open to it. But now it's time to start looking for an interim town manager so that we can start the process of looking for a full-time town manager and then a human resources director.
ELCAT also talks with newly elected Town Council member Kathleen Hill.
Our responsibility is to appoint an interim manager who can oversee the day-to-day so that the council can take on a very thoughtful, detailed process. But I would imagine that to be up to 90 days to do it right. Rushing it gets us nowhere and does not restore the confidence that the voters need to have in us. There is no room for error on this. We absolutely have to get this right the first time. And I would advocate for a national search, that we put the funds into doing the job right the first time, and the individual absolutely must come credentialed in public policy, municipal government, something in that background with certifications and licenses that speak to that kind of government, and who has a very good track record. And I'm all for doing site visits and speaking with residents in the municipality where the finalists are to actually hear, can they back up that data and put their money where their mouth is, and that's what we need for East Longmeadow.
With the 7 members elected for Town Council, the Board of Selectmen will soon be replaced. We wind down to their final meetings. The latest meeting held on June 8th had a lengthy agenda. A new organic natural food store is coming to North Main Street. The board talked with Daryl Gibbs, owner of the upcoming Bumpy's Corner store.
Have you ever heard of Deals and Steals in Northampton?
Yes.
Okay, where they're the same identical thing.
Okay.
Natural and organic food.
Okay.
At a unbelievable discount prices. You have items there that are just past code dates, and that's why you're able to offer it. That's such a good, discount.
Shaker Road will also receive a new business addition, a smoke and convenience shop called Planet Vape.
Actually, the same thing before have the convenience like a cigarette, tobacco, chewing tobacco, the premium cigar, and also the soda drink, chips, and also the lottery. And maybe we later on we put in the MoneyGram, Western Union later on.
Okay.
But the same thing what we have before. Same.
So this is where Dick's Convenience was?
Exactly,
Okay,
same
all right.
location, same place. So
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad
as it
there's...
is same.
Okay, great.
The meeting then moved on to a proposal from the Recreation Director, Colin Drury, about a fun activity to celebrate the last day of school.
We have a request from our rec director for a movie night, Friday, June 17th, from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at Center Field.
So the Recreation Commission, over the past few years, I've been bringing, kind of event ideas to them, to be more community-based. I feel like I live in the youth sports department a lot, so trying to branch out and offer some community events, similar to like the bonfire we did with the fire department. So the movie event was kind of the big idea. There's companies that are fully licensed in insurance. They come out, you give them electricity, they take care of the rest. You give them the movie, which will be Minions, by the way, very popular movie with the kids. They show the movie, the food permit is for the popcorn, and off we go. Just a new event that we'd like to do at the last day of school every year from this point forward, and this being the first year. And our goal is to have this kind of grow, be able to offer these events over the summer and into the fall for years to come.
The next and final Board of Selectmen meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 28th. Moving on to another town meeting, the Board of Public Works. The meeting then began with an update on the dog park from President Bill Kozelis.
It's been 4 years since the dog park started. It seems like just yesterday. But since that time, we've registered over 1,500 dogs to the dog park. So needless to say, it's very popular. And people that we talk to in town and outside of town, as a matter of fact, consider it a good asset for the town. So it's coming along well. It gets a lot of use, and we don't have any income other than fundraisers that we try to do and donations that people send in randomly, ranging from anywhere from $5 up to whatever everyone wants to bring.
The dog park runs solely on donations. Kozelis says it's difficult to maintain upkeep with such short funds.
What we're doing actually is we're kind of depleting what donations that are coming in on a regular basis. And I know, originally we talked about, not having a burden on the taxpayers and that sort of thing. But I think we've gotten to a point now where we've gotten so large and it's used so much that I think it's reasonable to ask for a little bit of support. And we're hoping for maybe $100 a month, to help defray our, the cost of our annual budget.
Well, with all these people, you just have to let them know you need to do more fundraising or do a fee or something. I mean, some way to...
Is there do you have a user fee now?
No, we were going to have one. We were going to charge $5 a piece for registration. And someone went up in arms and said, I pay my taxes and I don't have to do this and all that kind of stuff. So we said, all right, we'll make it free and just provide a donation if you'd like. People say it's one of the nicest parks in the area. They still say that. They like the shade, they like the benches. We got running water, which is great. I mean, that was a huge thing for us. And the bags and everything else. So, and we keep it clean. They say it's one of the cleanest parks, dog parks that they've been to. So we just want to maintain a high standard.
Switching to a new topic, Superintendent Robert Parent discusses a new regulation for restaurants and food places in town.
Updating another item we've talked about in the past, the FOG regulations, which stands for fats, oils, and grease, grease trap ordinance. They was adopted by the Board of Health on May 24th. Our health agent done a great job pulling that all together with some support from DPW. And Amy Petrowski, the health agent, is now working on the actual application materials and record-keeping information and things like that, so she can set now that she has a regulation in place, she can set the process up for putting those regulations in place and then starting to work with businesses in town that will need to comply with the regulation. And as we talked about previously, the way it's written is the regulation applies to all new food service establishments and existing establishments if those establishments are creating any grease issues downstream of the establishments. So they're not required to retrofit unless there's a problem. And then if there's a problem, they either need to correct the problem or take a look at putting in a different type of grease removal system inside the building or a grease trap outside of the building. They have a couple of alternatives that they can work with.
Lastly, Heritage Park is about to get some new features. Not playground materials, but cameras. The cameras will increase safety and will also help eliminate graffiti and other trespassing problems.
Chief D'Alessio was very willing to work the camera monitoring into part of what his guys do. It doesn't mean necessarily they're going to have somebody sitting there 24/7 watching a camera, but if there's an issue, they're going to start paying attention to the cameras. And the good thing is that you typically retain the video for a minimum of 30 days. So if there's a problem that came up a week ago, you may not have seen it, but you can go back into the video and pull information in after the fact. And it's a big deterrent as well. Once people know that
there's a little sign saying, smile.
Right.
The school committee also met last week, where committee members were pleased to accept donations from Target's Take Charge of Education program. The program allows Target credit card holders to choose a school that Target will donate an amount equal to 1% of the customer's Target credit card purchases. This school year, the East Longmeadow High School received $6,015.69 from the Target Take Charge of Education program. Birchland, Mapleshade, Meadowbrook, and Mountain View also received donations. Special thanks to the community members for choosing our schools and giving back. Speaking of giving back, residents were asked to join the June 8th Open Space and Recreation Plan Visioning Session to provide input and feedback for the Open Space and Recreation Commission to use before implementing new projects here in town. The session's purpose was to develop an updated open space and recreation plan that will fit the needs and wants of East Longmeadow residents.
So as a group, I'm requesting that you discuss what the ideal East Longmeadow in 10 to 20 years could look like and try to put it into simple statements. And this is just to kind of try to synthesize just your flash desires and goals for the town. So maybe you want to be able to walk out your door and be able to walk through green space to work. Maybe you want to have a new swimming pool. Maybe you want a playground in every neighborhood, whatever it is.
Now it's time to uncover this week's local stars. We're calling teachers to the stage. ELCAT covered the East Longmeadow Public Schools Staff Recognition and Hall of Fame event.
Our speaker today is a high school teacher who is retiring, and we will miss her dearly. Please give a big round of applause for Marilyn Burke.
We're asked by society to work miracles, and then we're asked why we didn't work them faster. But I'd like to ask you instead to remember the day that you were hired and that terrific feeling that you had when you knew that they wanted you as part of this family. And I've got to think that you were more right that day than you are ever going to be on any one of your bad days.
The next part of our program is honoring two people, inducting them actually into the East Longmeadow Public School Educators Hall of Fame.
To those who participated in this process and who nominated me and accepted me. So from day one in 1975 at Birchland Park Middle School to the last day of teaching in room 123 at East Longmeadow High School, I have had a passion for being part of East Longmeadow schools.
Switching gears to entertainment, St. Michael's Players' latest spring show, Cinderella, has wrapped up. Now it's time to prepare for their fall musical, Beauty and the Beast. Ages 7 and up auditioned for the musical with a song, dance number, and reciting of lines. ELCAT talked with Rose Stella, one of the founders of St. Michael's Players. Stella tells us about the program's history and how it's grown.
We began in 2005 with the St. Michael's Players, which was all ages community theater. I started the group along with Frank Jackson because I had taken a job here as religious ed director and I didn't know anyone. So I wanted people to get to know me in a personal way other than just through God. So we started the St. Michael's Players in 2005. And then Adam Momborg came on in one of our shows. He was a cast member in 2013, I think, in Music Man. And he was so great with kids and had such a great heart for kids. And then he began assistant directing with us. And it was Adam who wanted to start the Youth Players. And he was such a great face of St. Michael's that we started the Youth Players last year. So now we have the regular St. Michael's Players for the fall and the Youth Players for the spring. The overall goal of our program is to use our talents for the greater good of the community. It's all about community for us. In the rehearsal space with families and the theater actors and backstage that become community, and then bringing it to our community at large. And just this place is filled with so much joy when the show is going on that the roof could come off the place, and that's our goal.
Stella shares the core reason as to why St. Michael's Player chose the musical Beauty and the Beast for this fall.
I think we keep trying to raise the bar for ourselves, and it is a fantastic, obviously, costume set design show, and one of our parishioners and board members, Sue Makarowski, is a Disney animator and worked on the original Disney's Beauty and the Beast with Disney. So this is a show that means so much to Sue. So we thought this is the time.
The auditions may be over, but volunteers are always welcome. For more information, head over to St. Michael's Players website. Beauty and the Beast will be showing in November at the St. Michael's Community Center on Summers Road. Now it's time for our weekly segment, Library Learning, where we let you know what's happening at the East Longmeadow Public Library. Get ready for AM Book Group. Go participate in the discussion about the science fiction novel, The Circle by Dave Eggers. The story begins about a woman's ambition, then changes to a heart-racing suspense. Sign up today and pick up your copy at the circulation desk. The group will meet on Tuesday, June 21st at 10 a.m. This next library event is backed by popular demand, a mental fitness presentation. Sandy Newman from Springfield Valley Hypnosis Center will guide audience members through mental exercises that will help recall memory, relax the mind, and more. Registration is required. The event takes place on Monday, June 27th at 6 p.m. in the library community room. Well, that will do it for us tonight on this edition of ELCAT News Update. Be sure to watch meetings on demand at our ELCAT YouTube channel, ELCAT 01028. Follow us on Facebook and watch us on cable channel 191 and 193. For cable channel times, make sure to check out our ELCAT program guide, available at the Town Hall, Library, and Senior Center. Also, check your mail as the programs will be delivered monthly within the reminder. Until next time, I'm Rebecca Green. Thanks for watching. See you next week.